You think you've tried mindfulness. You've done the breathing exercises, the body scans, and maybe even sat in silence for 10 minutes with an app guiding your every inhalation. But what if I told you that true mindfulness, the kind that rewires your brain, dissolves anxiety at its root and awakens a deeper awareness, isn't what you've been practicing? Because most people aren't being mindful, they're performing mindfulness. And there's a difference, one that determines whether your practice will actually change your life or just become another task on your to-do list. Let's go beyond the basics. I want to show you mindfulness techniques that most people have never heard of, approaches rooted in ancient wisdom, cutting-edge neuroscience, and everyday observation. Some of these may sound strange at first. Some may feel uncomfortable. But all of them have the power to pull you out of autopilot and back into your life. Let's start with something unusual. Micro-mindfulness. It's exactly what it sounds like. Instead of sitting for long periods, you inject brief moments of absolute awareness into everyday life, moments as short as 5 seconds. You're brushing your teeth. Feel the texture of the bristles, the coolness of the water, the pressure of your hand. You don't need a timer. You don't need calm music. You just need presence. These micro-practices train your brain to break habitual thought loops. When repeated throughout the day, they build stronger neural pathways for attention. Over time, they help reduce the default mode network, the part of your brain responsible for mind wandering and rumination. The very system that fuels anxiety. But here's where it gets deeper. Try reverse attention. It's a technique from Dzogchen meditation. Instead of focusing outward on thoughts or sensations, you gently turn awareness back onto itself. You don't ask, "What am I thinking?" You ask, "Who is aware of this thought?" The moment you ask that, there's a pause, a stillness. It's like consciousness turning around and seeing itself. That split second of non-conceptual awareness is what ancient teachers called pure presence. And it's available to you anytime, anywhere. You don't need incense. You don't need a guru. You just need the willingness to look within instead of reacting without. Now, let's talk about one of the strangest, but most effective mindfulness tools I've used. Intentional discomfort. We spend so much energy avoiding discomfort, changing the temperature, distracting ourselves with noise, numbing ourselves with stimulation. But what if you leaned in? Not in a harmful way, but in small, safe, voluntary doses. Try this. Take a cold shower, not for toughness, but for awareness. Don't resist the shock. Instead, observe it. Be with the sensation. Notice the way your mind screams to escape and choose to stay for 5 more breaths. In that space, you train your nervous system to stop panicking. You're teaching your brain that discomfort isn't danger, it's data. And with this simple act, you build resilience, presence, and power. But mindfulness isn't just about attention. It's about the quality of that attention. This brings us to the next forgotten practice, or meditation. Most meditations shrink your focus, or expands it. Sit somewhere quiet. Recall the most breathtaking moment you've ever experienced. A mountain, a night sky, the sound of your child's first laugh. Let the feeling rise. Let it fill you. Now, here's the technique. Instead of thinking about the memory, feel the awe in your body. Where is it? Your chest, your gut, your eyes. Breathe into that space. Let the wonder spread. Awe changes brain chemistry. It increases oxytocin and reduces activity in the ego centers. It dissolves the illusion of separateness and reconnects you to something larger. Nature, the cosmos, life itself. Most of us are starved for transcendence, but awe reminds you, you are not just a thinking machine. You are part of something infinite. Let's go even further, into a practice that few people associate with mindfulness, but that rewires the subconscious more powerfully than almost anything else. Deep listening, not just hearing, but listening without a plan to respond, without judgment, without your mind waiting for a turn to speak. Try this with someone close to you, let them talk, and you simply receive. Notice the pull to interrupt, the urge to defend or correct. Let it pass. Stay open. This kind of presence creates a profound shift, not just in them, but in you. It trains your attention to stay with another's experience without collapsing into your own story. And the ripple effect of this, deeper relationships, greater compassion, and a quieter mind. But what if there's no one around? Then listen to the world itself. Try this. Sit outside for 5 minutes, close your eyes, and instead of focusing on your breath, focus on layers of sound. The closest sound, the farthest, the highest, the deepest. Notice the texture of silence between each one. You're not controlling anything. You're just witnessing. This exercise trains spatial awareness and brings the brain into a deeply relaxed state, similar to what monks experience in advanced meditation. But anyone can access it, even on a city street. Still with me? Because here's one of the most radical mindfulness techniques I know. And it doesn't involve sitting still at all. It's called mindful mimicry. The idea is simple. Choose a person whose presence you admire, someone who radiates calm, clarity, or compassion. Then, for a few minutes, embody them. Copy their posture, their breathing, their facial expression. Walk like them, breathe like them. At first, it may feel like acting. But here's the secret. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference. By mimicking the external signals of presence, you activate the internal state. It's like hacking your consciousness. And over time, you internalize those traits as part of your own identity. This isn't imitation. It's integration. You're borrowing a state of being until it becomes yours. And speaking of embodiment, most mindfulness practices stay locked in the mind. But true transformation happens in the body. Try this ancient, forgotten technique. Inner body scanning with emotion mapping. Start by sitting quietly. Bring attention to your body, piece by piece. Now ask yourself, where is emotion stored right now? Not what you're feeling, but where you feel it. Is there tension in the chest? Heaviness in the belly? A tight jaw? Breathe into that place. Don't name the emotion. Just feel the sensation. Let it unfold. This is how trauma is healed, not by thinking, but by sensing. Emotions are bodily events, and when you bring curious attention to them, they begin to loosen, shift, and release. This is mindfulness as medicine. And here's something almost no one talks about: mindful narration. Your inner voice is always speaking. But what if you made it conscious? Try this. For 1 hour a day, narrate your actions like a calm, neutral observer. I'm walking into the kitchen. I'm washing this cup. I'm feeling slightly tense. Speak it silently, not aloud. This sounds silly, but it works. Narration brings unconscious processes into awareness. It short-circuits automatic behavior. And over time, it rewires your identity. Because if you can observe your life without judgment, you begin to realize you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. And that changes everything. Let's take a breath here, a real one, because the techniques we've explored so far aren't tricks, they're doorways. Each one is a small key that unlocks a deeper part of your being. Not every method will resonate. But the right one can become a turning point, a way home to yourself. In part 2, we'll go even deeper into dream-based awareness, symbolic mindfulness, and one technique used by elite performers to enter flow on command. Ready to continue? But here's where things get even more intriguing. Let's talk about mindful micromovements. These are small, intentional body movements you do with full awareness. Most people overlook the incredible power of micro-adjustments, like the shift of your shoulder, the curl of a toe, or the tilt of your head. When you bring conscious awareness to these micro-movements, your nervous system tunes in and recalibrates. This grounds your mind and settles inner turbulence with surprising efficiency. Try it right now. Gently rotate your wrist while focusing completely on the sensation. You'll feel your attention anchor back into your body. Another overlooked but profound method is reverse mindfulness. Instead of being present in the moment, you intentionally zoom out, observing your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions from a higher vantage point. Think of it as stepping outside of yourself for a moment. This technique, often used in cognitive behavioral therapy, allows you to identify patterns and triggers with crystal clarity. You're not just being mindful, you're becoming the observer of your entire mental landscape. Now, let's go deeper. Have you ever heard of soundless listening? It's the practice of listening to the space between sounds. We're conditioned to react to what we hear, the beep, the voice, the notification. But what if you could become aware of the silence behind and beneath the noise? This ancient practice, found in Zen and Tibetan traditions, activates a deeper part of your consciousness. You begin to perceive not just sound, but the field in which sound arises. This calms the mind instantly and gives you a profound sense of stillness. And then there's mindful memory recall, a technique rarely talked about, but astonishingly powerful. You bring a past moment to mind, but instead of just thinking about it, you re-experience it through all your senses. What did the air smell like? How did the sunlight hit the wall? What emotions were present? By training yourself to recall with sensory detail, you sharpen your mindfulness retroactively. And over time, this enhances your present moment awareness. It's like strengthening the muscles of your inner eye. Let's not forget about the ritual of intentional slowness. This doesn't mean just walking slowly. It means doing one everyday task, like brushing your teeth or pouring tea at half speed with absolute presence. The slowness forces your mind to confront its urge to rush. It breaks the spell of urgency. And when you resist the pull to speed up, you reclaim power over your time perception. The task becomes sacred. The moment becomes holy. Another technique that borders on the mystical is breath shadow observation. This is where you observe not just your breath, but the after effect of your breath. The subtle echo it leaves in your chest, the tingling around your nose, the warmth along your ribs. This draws your attention so deeply that your thinking mind quiets. You enter a place beyond language where presence flows like a river. This is where real transformation begins, not in the technique, but in the quiet it opens inside you. You might also explore intermittent silence. Set a timer to go off randomly during your day. Each time it rings, stop. For 30 seconds, say nothing. Think of nothing. Just exist in silence. It's astonishing how much noise lives in our heads until silence exposes it. This microdose of stillness reboots your attention system and reminds your nervous system that stillness is safe. Now, let's talk about mindful micro-journaling. Not long entries, just one sentence, but with full awareness. For example, I feel a wave of sadness today, and that's okay. The power here lies in presence, not prose. You're not writing to remember. You're writing to witness. And in doing so, you give your emotions a container. You give your inner voice a home. Then comes a highly effective, but often ignored, technique called tactile anchoring. It involves carrying a small, textured object in your pocket, a smooth stone, a piece of wood, a braided string. Anytime you feel scattered, you reach into your pocket and feel the texture. You do this with full focus. The texture becomes a bridge connecting you back to now. It's a tiny ritual with massive grounding potential. One of the more radical techniques is thought tagging. This means mentally labeling every thought as it arises, planning, judging, worrying, replaying. You don't analyze the thought. You just tag it and move on. Over time, this creates a subtle detachment. You no longer are your thoughts, you observe them. And that changes everything. And if you want to deepen your awareness through movement, try mindful mirror walking. Stand in front of a mirror and take slow, conscious steps, watching yourself walk, observing your breath, your posture, your expression. It might sound odd, but confronting your reflection with presence dissolves self-judgment and reconnects you to your embodied self. You begin to see yourself not as an idea, but as a living, breathing presence. Now, here's one more. It's called mindful shadow tracking. At the end of the day, ask yourself, what part of myself did I ignore today? Maybe it was your anger, your playfulness, your sadness. Then take a few minutes to sit with that part, gently, without judgment. This form of mindfulness goes beyond awareness. It becomes integration, healing, wholeness. By now, you may realize something important. Mindfulness isn't a single practice. It's a language, a silent, subtle dialogue between your mind and the present moment. And there are dozens of dialects. You don't need to sit on a cushion for 20 minutes to be mindful. You can breathe between sentences. You can notice the pause before a response. You can choose stillness while the world rushes around you. So the real question is, what haven't you tried yet? What door remains unopened in your daily experience? Let this video be an invitation to try something new. Pick just one technique from today's list and make it your practice for the next 3 days. See what shifts. See how it shapes your state of mind. And if one doesn't work for you, try another. Mindfulness is personal. It's not about perfection. It's about presence. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Which of these lesser-known mindfulness techniques are you going to try first? Leave a comment and let's start a conversation. And if this video opened a new way of seeing for you, share it with someone who might need it. Remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more tools to deepen your mental clarity and emotional well-being. Your mind is your home. Keep it sacred.